Hey class, Mr. Dow. Just going to talk to you a little bit at the beginning of this week about what we've got coming in week number 4 of this English 103 class. All right, so that's what's coming. Let's PowerPoint it and just kind of see what I can say about those things specifically. Uh-oh, here we go. All right. So in week number 4, we're going to list the different assignments you've got and kind of talk a little bit about each one of them. So first, there's 2 separate pages on the module that are just about writing paper number 1. One of the pages is about how to avoid common writing problems. I'll show you some student samples where the kind of writing issues that come up a lot, I see a lot. I just try to show you what they were like and maybe talk about how you could fix them. And then another page is devoted to plagiarism and giving you examples of how things get plagiarized and also showing you what it's like when you turn in a paper on turnitin.com and get an originality report. You want to take that one pretty seriously because a small amount of plagiarism is enough to completely fail a paper, to give it a 0, which is really worse than failing. There's my little plagiarism thief guy. But it's a pretty serious problem. So, in general, there's 2 kinds of plagiarism. There's the kind where people don't really know how to work with quotes, which can be discussed, and if people can learn how to do it, and there's ways to kind of forgive that. And then there's a plagiarism where people are just trying to pass off somebody's work as theirs, and as all colleges do, we have a pretty strict policy about it. So read those 2 pages, kind of get ready, as this is the week you should be working on getting the writing done for this paper. It's not due this week, it's due at the end of next week. So you do have time here. I would assume a lot of people might even be a little bit behind with their body paragraph, but there's time for that. So again, it's not due until the end of week 5. After you do look at those 2 pages, you have 2 things going on with works cited pages. There's a page on how to do them, and this has samples in it. And basically, for those of you who took English 101 at Citrus and remember how to do this, which you should have learned in English 101, this is not startlingly new, but you might not remember, or you may never have done one. Maybe you took English somewhere else. So you have a page on how to do it. It has examples. And then the exercise 7, I think, is just show me a draft of your works cited page. The draft does not have to be complete, doesn't have to have all your entries in it, but at least one of the paragraphs should be represented in there. So, and it's one of those back and forth assignments where you're gonna put it out there, show it to me. I'm gonna give you a 3 out of 5. Say do these 4 things, etc., etc. We'll go back and forth. You cannot type this into the submission box. You really kind of have to put it in a PDF because I need to see your formatting. That's part of what happens on a works cited page. All right, after that comes exercise number 8, where we continue arguing with Toolman terms. I give you some arguments, and you have to break them down and analyze them, try to derive the warrant. The difference is between these arguments and the other ones we've done is I'm giving you slightly longer arguments to analyze, and I'm adding a concept of the counter argument, which I would also like you to do. The counter argument is really connected to the warrant because basically what it is after you got an argument here, you've analyzed it properly. This is the claim, this is the evidence. Based on this, I can draw an inference, say this is the warrant. The counter argument should argue against the claim by targeting the warrant. So if the claim is something like, this is the best grocery store in Glendora, and there's evidence, whatever, and you come up with a warrant for that, your counter argument is, no, that's not the best grocery store in Glendora, and the reason because is an attack on the warrant that you discovered. So if you're doing these right, you're using what I call linear thinking. You're staying inside the box of this argument, using the same terms and working your way through it. And I can tell that if you got the counter argument right. So more practice. We'll have a couple more weeks of that's going on, just to kind of get more and more used to doing that. Then the last couple things in this week are first, you have a page that mainly has a big screencast on it. It's essentially a lecture with some videos and some images, etc. And that's supposed to prepare you for the last assignment of the week, which is discussion number 3. And it's also going to prepare you for paper number 2. Now, we're not going to write paper number 2 for a while. Don't worry about it, but you do need to start thinking about it. And basically, the idea of the paper is that we're going to apply these terms, claim, evidence, and warrant, into an analysis of an advertisement. But to do that, I think it helps to get some background on why we have to do this at all, and how ads work, essentially. And I'm not doing a whole history of advertising, but I am trying to show you that, look, it's more complicated than you think it is, and trying to give you a pattern that you want to follow when you actually get to discussion 3 and have to present something. Discussion 3 is your Toolman analysis of one magazine ad. And this is not an essay or even a paragraph. It's just you listing, hey, I've looked at this magazine ad. I think this is what they're claiming. This is the evidence I found, like 4 or 5 pieces of evidence. This will be the warrant of that argument they're building. This is the counter argument to that ad and the warrant specifically. Over here we have an ad, and this is not, again, this is not a Toolman analysis here. It's an analysis, though. They are looking carefully at the details of the ad to try to understand it better, and I do recommend you do that. But I don't need this kind of writing. I need you to treat this ad like you've treated the other short arguments that we've had so far in the class. And I have put on, like I've given you I put a post up with my own ad doing what I want you to do, so you have something there to see that might help you do this assignment. Not a lot of writing, but you do need to kind of know what you're doing. And so I will go back and strongly recommend watch that screencast. Without watching the screencast, this can be a little bit mystifying, all right? So the screencast is essentially like me in the class talking about this. And that is it. That's what's happening here. So let's actually get out of this, the PowerPoint. Let us go back to me talking to you guys a little bit. The things I want to get across most this week before I kind of stop this. First I need a haircut pretty bad. The things I want to get across. This is a week we would really try to get ahead on writing paper number 1, which is due at the end of week 5. I think a lot of people are often late turning in their one draft paragraph, which is required to show me on Canvas for the paper. That's okay. Use this week to do that. And remember, that is a back and forth. You want to end up with a 5 out of 5 on that. Otherwise, there could be some issues with the writing that you really don't want to turn in. If you get done with that and you get a 5 out of 5 on your paragraph and you want more work looked at by me, I'm happy to do that. It's just that there are a couple of rules that I always have, and just to sort of save time with everybody. So if you want me to look at the other paragraph or the work, whatever, I look at one paragraph at a time, and I only look on emails. I don't open attachments when it's draft work. If you can just remember that, I'm happy to look at anything. And once I've looked at it, I put comments on it, I send it back to you. You're free to send it back to me again with more work done, or send me the other paragraph. That's up to you entirely. But it's not mandatory. The only thing that's mandatory is that I should get a draft body paragraph number 1, and I should get a draft works cited page. And those are the things you have to do. All right. Final thing there is that, if you have troubles with any of this stuff, you should be letting me know somehow. I have been having a couple of Zoom conferences here and there with students that said, hey, I don't get this, or can you please talk to me about this? I'm happy to do that. So just contact me and we will do it. All right. Keep going, you guys. Keep going. Get through this class. All right. Talk to you later.